Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray, feeling good, Lewis. We posted a whole bunch of charts here this morning. I think there's 4 of them from the DAX and the FTSE. Folks, the reason why I put those in there is for twofold. One, we've got a lot of listeners over in the UK and Denmark and Spain and a few other places over there. And the reason why is they like to see what these charts look like. So it's helpful to see that these things work on any market, any time frame. They're just patterns, just stuff's up and down, nothing more than that. You know, it really isn't, but that's the main reason. I'm going to do something just a tiny bit different today because we have Norm coming. Norm Winski is going to be on at our break. I want to get through a few charts because we're at a really critical level. Now, one of our listeners has asked to share the AI program for today. Now, I'm going to do that for the E-mini, and I'm going to do it for the NASDAQ. But remember, folks, what you have to do is you have to watch the key times that are there. In other words, that key time there at 11 o'clock should be the most important time of the day. And that's why you want to be watching it very, very closely. It's nothing more, nothing less. It's just something that could really be very, very important. And when I show you the one here for the NASDAQ, you're going to be up here. Let me just get this up here and let you see this one here. You have to match the pattern, you know, with the time. That's what it's really all about. And I prefer you not do anything with it, but because you had a request, I'm trying to honor that. So that's what I'm trying to do. There's a couple things that we really need to do here early this morning, because if you'll remember here on Wednesday, folks, when we started the all-day trading session, the first trade that we put on was the short sell in the British pound up there at the 134.59 level. And what we have going on now is a situation in the British pound that I think is pretty important. And let me try to explain the best way that I can. This is a an hourly chart on that British pound versus the US dollar. And as you can see here, we're very, very close to the 61% retracement down there at 131.20. You can see the multiple ABCDs. In fact, we've made one of the larger ones right there. And notice the profit objective is due Sunday, but I sent a special thing out early this morning, about an hour and a half or so ago. Do not be short this thing over the weekend. And the reason why is it's got a 300 handle profit in it, which is, $1,800. And this thing, anything could happen with these things. As you can imagine, some things are really crazy in politics these days. And so you don't want to get involved with it. It might, totally collapse from here. You could put your stop in real close if you wanted to do that. But frankly, the smarter thing to do is not to hold it over the weekend. That's my opinion, and I'm basing that just on the the pattern there and the fact that it's due for a bounce. That's really it. We're down 6 days in a row, so that's enough to really scare the bejeebies out of the shorts. So that's what I'm paying attention to. So I really don't know any other way to handle it other than do it that way, and it's better to do that. And, we'll be able to see what we're doing as we get through. We will have Norm Winski as our guest here at the half hour. He always got some really great stuff, which is, we like to hear the astrology side of this. And let's take a look at a couple things here now. I want to walk through a trade with you folks, and I want you to just go with me just for a second. Just humor me, okay? This is a chart of a stock that you guys probably hear of. Everybody, a lot of people use this stuff, just about everybody in the world. This is what it looks like. Now, you look at it like that, you can look at that, and you can see you have higher tops and you have higher bottoms. That is in an uptrend. Okay, so the $64 question is, why in the world would you sell something that looks like that? Well, all you have to do is to take a quick little look at it, and you'll be able to see that you're going to be looking at multiple ABCD patterns as you look at this, okay? That's what you're looking at, okay? That's what it is, okay? It happens to be crude oil, folks, and that's what we're watching here. Crude oil did a absolute perfect, and I mean flat out, perfect one that you just can't possibly, a beautiful 3 drive. That's right, Marshall. But look at the drives, folks. 1.618 and 1.618. You got multiple 1.618 numbers there. And people say, oh, well, you're not trading with the trend. Excuse me, please. Crude oil topped at 144. It made another top at 110. It made another top at 69, and it's trading at 47. This thing's in a downtrend on a longer-term basis. But well, we're not concerned about the trend. We're concerned about the risk that you have to take to see if you're going to be right. That's the bottom line. That's already got a $1,200 profit in it right now. So. Those what I bring that to your attention to, because people say, why do I trade against the trend sometimes? Well, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But you have to decide, what time frame you're on. And all I'm trying to do is to find a spot where I don't have to risk very much. Time is the most elusive of all the things that we've got here. It really is. It's a scary puppy. Okay, we got to take our hats off, and we got to hear the sound of one hand clapping for our main man, Mr. Z, because Mr. Z has knocked the ball out of the park one more time. Folks, there's not been anybody more bullish on copper over the past 2 months than Mr. Z. And last night, we hit the 1.618 expansion on the long-term weekly chart to the tick at 362. That is going to be a major top in copper. Just go back to see 2016 to 2018, the ABCD pattern. Then you have the ABCD pattern to the downside, down there at $1.97. That's a huge move. God bless you, Mr. Z. We thank you for all you do in here, but boy, this is a big one. It's already sold off about 8 cents, well, 10 cents actually, from the high already today. So if we get above 362, oh boy, look out. But that should be it. So what we'll be watching is for a potential little ABCD counter trend rally here over the next couple of weeks. We might be able to get a short off in that without risking an arm and a leg. So those are just a few of the ones that we're watching here early this morning. The other one that looks really interesting here, folks, and then we've talked about this quite a bit here. I just want to get this up here so we can see it, is the Bitcoin. Because remember, early in the week, we had a 92% greed factor in the Bitcoin. It made a new high by just about I think about $400 at 20,000, whatever it was, 20,400 below the over the high of 2018. Anyway, now what we're going to be watching for is we want to be watching for the 382 off of the price of 10,000. So 10,000 to 20,000. Now this is going to be tough, so stick with me. 10,000 to 20,000. That's 10,000 points, right? So if you take 38% of 10,000, what do you come up with, folks? 3,800. So watch for a retracement of 3,800. That's going to take you to 16,200. So watch 16,200. We're trading at 17,000 flat or something, but 16,200 is going to be a really interesting number to watch, because if that thing collapses from here, that's telling you that double top, and that was one of the patterns that was in Andrew Lowe's book, is very important. 877-927-6648.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. Do you have broken or unwanted jewelry, diamonds, watches, coins, silverware, and other collectibles that you would like to turn into cash? Tiger Precious Metals and Stones will pay fair market value. We make it easy to turn your precious metals that are sitting around in your house into cash. Call Andy now at 727-329-8245 and he will walk you through our safe and secure process. Andy has been in the business buying and selling precious metals for over 15 years. Call Andy now at 727-329-8245.
TFNN has just launched our Tiger Dollar Holiday Sale. For a limited time, we've doubled all the Tiger Dollar bonuses where you can now get up to a 20, 30, or even a 40% bonus on your Tiger Dollar purchase. Tiger Dollars are good for all TFNN newsletters, webinars, and services and never expire. Whether you're a current subscriber or just thinking of signing up for any TFNN products in the future, this is a great time to get your Tiger Dollars. Happy holidays from all of us at TFNN.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a look at the natural gas here. We've been following this for quite some time. We had the 61% retracement back there 5 days ago. You'll notice that the rally that we've had so far this morning, we're up 5 days in a row, and it is at the 382 of the previous high. So this is going to be a real interesting spot to keep an eye on, because if we can pop above that 38% level, that's telling us that this is a major bottom here, and we probably are going to go higher. But it's a little bit overbought right now, but it's still at a spot where it could go either way. I just bring it to your attention because it hits these numbers, and I really respect these numbers because they won't leave you in the lurch very long. So pay close attention to those as you watch these numbers. If you learn what they do, I mean, it's a big deal. At least for me anyway. So we'll see how that works. Okay, let's move on to a couple of things here that we need to talk about. Boys and girls, we are getting ready to, I think, see one of the best buying opportunities we've had in a very long time in the gold market. We were short that thing up around that 1965 level, covered it at 1765. And what we're looking for now, if we look at this daily chart, and I really think we got a shot here. I don't know if I have it right yet or not, but I think I will here in just a minute. If you take a look at this gold market, this is going to take a lot of finesse. We've got to look at the XAUs. We've got to look at the GLD, and we're going to do a lot of work over the weekend to make sure that we're seeing this as the way we think it is, because this is still a major bull market that we have in here. The last low we had there at that 1760 could be it. I don't know if we get above the 1900 level. I'm pretty sure it's on its way. So that's the main thing. And anything above 1950 quickly, in other words, if it really makes a big thrust, in other words, you get one of those days where it's up $60, $70 for some reason, then you'll know that it's on its way. Right now, the way it looks, and I'm doing this, right here on a Friday, but I'm waiting to buy this sometime between the 14th next Monday, which is the lunar eclipse, and we'll have Rich Anderson that day, and the 21st, which is the solstice, the winter solstice, also very, very important. So between the 14th and the 21st, that's what we'll be looking for. Remember, folks, on the long-term weekly, way back in December, let's just get the weekly up so you folks can see this, so you'll be able to see it without too much trouble. Get this back here where we were. Here we go. When did it bottom on December? That bottomed on December the 18th. The week. This is a weekly chart. Oh boy, we're really getting close. Shut the front door. What's today? The 11th. Okay, look back here, folks. You see December the 11th, 2015. That week of December 11th to the 17th, that was the bottom in the gold market at 1060, and from there we went all the way up to 2060. So we went $400. Well, no, $1,000. Wow. $1,000 an ounce. That's a lot of money. Okay, anyway, look at this chart on the weekly. You can see that this is not a bearish chart, folks. It really isn't. It's still a very, very bullish chart. Everything is set for this thing to go. What we've got to do is try to finesse a spot to to get long. The way I try to do this now is I look at the daily, weekly, just for a rough idea. I don't trade off those things. I just try to see major support. But what I'd like to do is to find a spot on an hourly chart where I can risk only about $7. Well, $700, and a contract that's selling for $184,000 is peanuts. So if you use the GLD, it'll be a lot easier. And I want you to look at this gold chart. Fact is, let me doctor it up a little bit to show you the importance of what we're looking at that number that we had back here. Let me just give me a second here to I want to highlight it so you're able to see it. There's what I wanted to see. Okay, now I'm going to bring this weekly chart back up to you again. Hope you're not bored with this, because I certainly am not. Anyway, you'll see that dark black line there. That means the high that we made in 2020. Then we came down a little bit, and then we shot up $400 an ounce, up to 2060 per ounce. Look where we pulled back to. We pulled back to all those old highs of 2020. That's an important number, and it's also, setting right at that, number where it just doesn't complete the ABCD as yet. But this might be the bottom here at 1767, and just Mr. Z was pointing that out when he was short that and covering. So this is going to be real interesting here. Should we miss it? In other words, if we get above, runs away, I don't like to chase markets. I might as well send my checks into the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and bypass the small commission. But if we do miss it and we start getting above 1900, then what we have to do is we've got to go down to a smaller time frame to spot a place where we really don't have to risk very much. And that's the key to this, is how much we have to risk, because this is a big contract, folks. This is larger than the S&P. It's larger than, this is the largest of them all. I think with the crude oil. Yeah, no, not crude oil, the bonds. This is the largest of all the contracts on a value basis. As I read it, I'm probably missing something because of palladium or one of those weird ducks. But I'm not interested too much in that one right now. So those are just a few of the things that that I'm watching here this week. And this is really big time, because this was the day that we bottomed on December the 15th of 2015. So it's important that we keep that in our memory bank, because it's going to be extremely important to try to do this. Okay, let's take a quick look here. Where we're doing here, we've had a little bit of a rally here in the stocks off the bottom. The low that we made in the NASDAQ last night was an exact 786, folks. So that is a positive sign that it could hold that number. I think I could put that up and actually show you what it is, so you'll be able to see it pretty easily, because it was spot on right at the hold on just a second here. I think I can do that. Yeah, there we go. You can see that it was right at the 78% level. And now what we're doing is we're finishing this rally. We're up about 70 handles. We shouldn't get any higher than where we are right about now. But we're coming into the opening price, and that's always a fun time to trade. So pay close attention to that. But this is the pork bellies of the indices. I don't recommend anybody trading these, but we shouldn't, if we get much high. Excuse me, boy, I'm burping. Haven't even had anything to eat yet. 12,350 in the NASDAQ. If we get above that, that tells us we're probably going to rally a little bit more, but we should stop right about in here if this is correct. I wish this were about half an hour into the opening, then we'd have a better idea. But the price level that we're looking at right now is at 12,330. That should be a pretty good, interesting spot to take a look at it. We're going to have Norman, who calls it to the minute, Winski, as our guest. We've got that lunar eclipse coming up on Monday with the new moon. Shut the front door and raise the rent. and it'll be good. On Wednesday or Tuesday, we're going to have Shane Smulyan on as a guest, and on Saturday, on the Wednesday, everything's going to be closed because it's Sarah's birthday, so we have to close all the markets on Sarah's birthday. Okay, we'll be right back with Norm Winski of Astro Trends out of, I think it's Naples, Florida. Yes, it is. We'll be back with Norm in just a few minutes.
Larry Pesavento watches the markets 24/7, and now is a great time to try out his daily trading service, Fibonacci 24/7. Larry publishes videos and charts for subscribers throughout the week when warranted, and every weekend he puts out a thorough report covering worldwide markets, futures, commodities, and currencies with Fibonacci retracement levels, possible trading setups and zones, and stops and targets for all recommendations included. Larry applies the principles he's developed over decades of trading while analyzing a variety of markets for subscribers. To see for yourself the types of videos, charts, and analysis that Larry provides for his subscribers, sign up for Fibonacci 24/7 today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. You'll also gain instant access to Larry's archived subscriber webinar from earlier this year. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today. If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today. TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, I believe we have Norm Winski of Astro Trends on the line. Norm, are you there?
Yes, sir, Larry. Can you hear me okay?
You're coming in loud and clear, my friend. Will you need any help for the next half hour? Because I'll be here. Hey, listen, take over the mic, my friend. That was a little joke, and a happy Hanukkah to you, Norman.
Thank you, Larry.
You're a prince
Happy
among men, my
holidays to
friend.
you.
You're a prince among men.
Happy holidays.
Oh, no, don't do that. We'll lose all our customers. Go ahead.
Prince often offered to pay me not to sing, you know.
Hey, I'm one of them. I'll send you a check.
Okay. All right,
Go
let's
ahead,
get
Norm.
going here. I'm going to go back and review the last 2 weeks. I didn't give this when I was on a month ago, but it doesn't really matter because it's all objective information. This stuff was all known ahead of time. This is stuff right out of my letter. There's the letter here, and it was in at the end of my November letter, at the beginning of my December letter, because I started the weekend of November 27th. And it's the same principles over and over again every time I'm on your show, Larry. We look for the moon. We look for important planetary cycles, planets turn direct, retrograde, zero latitude, or if you have a major planetary lineup. That's pretty much it. I can't change what the planets do. That's it. And I can't change what the markets did. So there we go. So basically, your basic principle is when the planets change trend, the markets change trend. Okay, so here we go. We had a big cluster over the. I started my December month on Monday the 30th, and so anything that happened over the weekend of the Friday the 27th was a window to look for a possible setup for Monday the 30th opening. So there we go. We had a huge cluster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things all happening between Friday the 27th and over the weekend. You had Uranus 90 degrees to the U.S. North Node. That's based on the U.S. natal chart, which is where the planets were back on the 4th of July of 1776. And that was for a change in trend for stocks, T-bonds, and U.S. dollar. Anything to do with the U.S. chart, we look at those 3 things. And then over the weekend, we had Jupiter contra-parallel the U.S. ascendant. There again, that's U.S. natal chart. Same suspects, stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. And we had Neptune turning direct over the weekend in Pisces. Neptune's sign is Pisces, so it's in its own sign there. Been there for quite a while, and it'll be there a little while longer. And that's for big deal there is oil. And the stocks are the big basket, everything. So they potentially respond to anything and everything. Whereas the commodities are narrow filters. We had the full moon lunar eclipse that weekend, and we'll be looking for round up your usual suspects, financials, grains, and precious metals. And then we had Jupiter lining up with Uranus. Jupiter was in Capricorn then, and Uranus is in the sign of Taurus. And because it's in the sign of Taurus, we'll be looking at the cattle, Taurus the bull, copper, Uranus is electrical, and Uranus is electrical, cotton is Taurus, and stocks. And then we had a Mars on its at 0 north latitude. We always look at when the planets get to 0 latitude. And because Mars was in Taurus, we'll be looking at cattle, cotton, and then also stocks. And then we had a thing to the U.S. natal chart on the night of the 3rd. I'll be looking at the opening for the 4th, and that was the U.S. stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar, and oil. You might want to take a screenshot of these items, by the way, so you can follow along a little easier, or look at it later. And then the weekend of the 4th, we had Mercury at 0 south latitude, and Mercury is grain. So you got your corn, soybeans, and, of course, stocks and wheat. And then the Monday afternoon, we had Jupiter line up with U.S. Pluto, and that's your stocks, T-bonds, and U.S. dollar. So let's see how it all came out. I put green arrows and red arrows. If you had a chance to make money, it's a green arrow. If it was a miss, I got a red arrow. Here's your cattle. There's my first time over the weekend of the 27th there. There's a nice little top there on the cattle. And then you made a low on when Mars was at 0 north latitude. You made a little short-term low there for like a one-day pop. Not great, but this is pretty good over here for the earlier one. And here's a copper. Just kept going higher, so that was a miss. All right, so there we go. Here's corn. You don't get much better than that, Larry. Look at that. There's your moon. That's a lunar eclipse over the 27th weekend. And that was a high we've had for a while. And then down here you had Mercury over the 4th weekend. Moon and Mercury are the 2 short-term things for the grains. And there you go. There's your corn, making a nice low there on the weekend of the 4th, opening of the 7th, Monday the 7th. Here's your cotton. That's a Taurus market. And there you go. Make a nice little top, short-term top there. and we were one day early on a low there for the cotton, which was due on the next day. So there we go. Here's gold. Look at that. It doesn't get much better than that, Larry. Over the weekend, the 27th, the lunar eclipse. That's it. The precious metals like the moon, and so there you go. That was that's been the low that's that low you often talk about there. Mr. Z caught at I think it was 1767, right?
He nailed it all the way to the top.
There you go.
Yeah,
doesn't get better than that, huh?
No, sir.
Here's your crude oil. We had a miss here on the crude oil over the 27th weekend, and then but we had a little bit of a top here, with a short-term top here on the oil on the weekend of the 4th, and there we go. And then the silver, there you go. Gold and silver usually do about the same thing, and there's your silver making this low there right on the moon lunar eclipse over the weekend of the 27th. And there's your beans. Boy, look at that, Larry. Right on the top, right on the moon there, Larry. If you sold Monday the 30th opening, you did really well. I don't think you had hardly any heat at all. Maybe might have gone a penny against you at most, right? There you go. And then we had a low there with Mercury over the 4th weekend. And by the way, you notice there aren't any moving average oscillators on my charts. None of that stuff. No candlestick, nothing. This is very simple, and we don't have to forecast price in advance because the key times will give you the key prices. It doesn't get any simpler than this, I don't think. Now, if you see yellow bars here, that means the market was going sideways, and then I don't do anything. It's called Newton's law. For every action, there's an opposite equal reaction. That's a mirror image idea. And so if we're going sideways, the opposite sideways is more sideways, and hard to make money if you think the market has been going sideways and you think it's going to continue going sideways. So we just take a pass. I had 5 different things there for that window over the 27th weekend for the stock market, and it had been just kind of pretty much going sideways into the weekend there. And so that's a nothing. I would do it and do nothing there. And I also, here's another one. I took a pass for that, Finally, I had some action here into the weekend of the 4th where we had a little short-term top there, and that's been it. So there we go. Now we got your T-bonds. They were pretty good. We had a triple signal here over the weekend of the 27th, and there's your 3 green arrows, and that was a top. Then we went down. Is it music time?
Yes, sir. We got to pay a few bills, my friend. It's Hanukkah. We got 8 days of gifts.
There you go.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. Are you looking to buy or sell gold, silver, platinum, coins, or bullion? We can help. At Tiger Precious Metals and Stones, we specialize in the buying and selling of gold, silver, as well as collectible U.S. and foreign coins. We not only buy your unwanted or broken jewelry, but you can trade that in for gold and silver coins too. Call Andy now at 727-329-8245 for a quote over the phone and to lock in the current market price. Call us now at 727-329-8245.
TFNN has just launched our Tiger Dollar Holiday Sale. For a limited time, we've doubled all the Tiger Dollar bonuses, where you can now get up to a 20, 30, or even a 40% bonus on your Tiger Dollar purchase. Tiger Dollars are good for all TFNN newsletters, webinars, and services and never expire. Whether you're a current subscriber or just thinking of signing up for any TFNN products in the future, this is a great time to get your Tiger Dollars. Happy holidays from all of us at TFNN.
The Bull Bear Trading Hour with Tom and Tommy O'Brien. Next.
Okay, we're back with Norm Winski, folks. Norm, do you have about 30 seconds to answer one question?
I'll try.
Okay, how important is this new moon and lunar eclipse we have Monday?
That's on the schedule to talk about shortly.
Go right ahead. You're the boss. You're the man. Take the mic.
One of the things I learned is the only way, a lot of people have trouble learning this astrology stuff. I learned early on the only way to keep from going crazy or getting confused is you have to keep it simple, keep it organized, and be very methodical. So ABC 1, 2, 3. That's the only way to keep from getting lost in this stuff, So that's what I'm very methodical. Keep it simple. All right, here I'm going to go back to the
ahead.
We're going to get to the solar eclipse here shortly. I have some huge stuff coming up. All right, we got the T-bonds. We were looking at that. I had a triple signal over the weekend of the 27th. Had another point to the U.S. natal chart on the night of the 3rd. And that was a little short-term top there. And then we had one for the afternoon of the 7th, but that one did not work. So, we did okay on the T-bonds, not 100%. Here's your wheat. Again, it rallied into the moon on the weekend of the 27th, lunar eclipse, and then down, down, down. And this made a low there right on the weekend of the 4th with Mercury at zero latitude. I forget whether that was south or north. I can look it up here in a moment, I think. Where do they go? Oh, yeah, Mercury 0 south latitude. Here's your dollar. That did not work. Usually the currencies dance nicely to the moon, but the dollar, I guess, was in the meltdown mode, and so it didn't care. But it did make a low here on the U.S. natal chart aspect for the night of the 3rd, and that was been the low. And then we had that one day later, we were near the low, so I'm going to count that as a buy also on the 7th. If we're in we'll try again. If we're within one trading day and it's close to the price, I count that as a valid signal. Here's your just for fun. Here's a thought of throwing a foreign currency. Here's your Japanese yen. It also made a high. I'd say of all the currencies other than the dollar, the yen is usually one of the best ones against the moon. The full moon, new moons. And that made a nice top there on the moon. All right, you added up the green arrows and the red arrows. You got 22 winners. That means you had a chance to make money. 6 misses out of 28 different arrows there. So that's 8.57%. It's not bad. There you go. And here's what's coming up. There we go. First thing on my schedule here for the 14th in the morning. I think it's 11:17 a.m. Eastern Time. That'll be a new moon, and that'll be a solar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius. Round up the usual suspects, financials, grains, and precious metals. There we go. The next day, the next night, the 15th night, You have Mercury at aphelion. What's that? Mercury, the planets go around the sun in elliptical fashion, not in a circle, elliptical egg-shaped fashion. And so there's a point where they're close, and there's a point where they're far. And helio is Greek for sun. So if it's A in the front, that means it's afar, and that means Mercury is at its farthest point in its 88-day cycle around the sun. And Mercury is grains, and because it has to do with the sun, we're also going to be looking at the sun Leo markets too, which are corn is a double hit with that, the sun and Mercury, and then you have gold and OJ. So the summary is watch for corn, gold. We got oats. I usually don't talk about oats on here because nobody cares. OJ, soybean, stocks, and wheat. All right, then we got the night of the 16th. The AC is after the close. Saturn enters Aquarius geocentrically for the first time in 29.5 years. And Aquarius is copper, and Saturn is coffee. And then because it's 90 degrees, it'll be 90 degrees to Taurus the bull. That's your cattle, and your cotton should be there. There's cotton. And then Saturn is coffee, and there's corn, cotton, gold, hogs, Scorpio, hogs, and cocoa, or had cocoa back there. Is Scorpio, that's 90 degrees. Saturn will be 90 degrees for those signs, and there you go. It's all very simple stuff. I know it sounds a little crazy because you're not used to it, but once you get used to it, and if you were to study with me for a couple of days, you'd have this down. I keep everything very simple. No advanced math, no advanced thinking. I'm not that smart, so I keep everything grade school level. Saturn contraparallel latitude to the U.S. and Mars. There we go. And of course, Geo. And then the night of the weekend of the 18th, we got Jupiter. It goes into Aquarius, first time in 11 years. Geo is, there's geocentric from the point of view of the Earth, and there's heliocentric from the point of view of the Sun. And that'll be the first time in 11.5 years. And the same, pretty much the same markets: cattle, cocoa, copper, corn, cotton, gold, hog, J stocks. And then also that weekend we have heliocentric Mars going to change signs, go into Gemini. And that's, you'll watch usually often when Mars changes signs, the stock market will have a 1 to 2 day correction. And they call that rotation, when the big money managers shift their money from one area to another. Now, the afternoon, I think it's 1:21 in the afternoon on the 21st, we got something really, huge doesn't even describe this. You're going to have Jupiter and Saturn conjunct in Aquarius. Okay, Jupiter and Saturn get together every 19.5 years. You think that's big? That's just a sub-cycle of a bigger cycle that Jupiter and Saturn get together in the same element. In the zodiac, there's fire, earth, air, water, and they're spaced 120 degrees apart. The same sign of the same element. Let me do that again. A sign of the same element. There's 3 of them in each element, and the Jupiter and Saturn land in the same element for roughly 240 years once the cycle starts. Okay, and that's what we're doing now. Okay, so we're in Earth with one exception. It did a sort of a weird flip back in 1980. And then flipped back out to Earth. And 1980 was in Libra as an air sign, but back to Earth one more time. And now we're back to Aquarius for the next 240 years. It hasn't done this in this pattern for 800 years. To be exact, I think it was 1226. That was it. You probably remember back when I did that, Larry.
Yeah, I was trading that day. I remember. It was Saturday.
Exactly. All right, so there we go. So and then it gets even bigger, Larry, because you got the smallest one, the 19.5 year cycle. That's called the mutation cycle. Then the bigger one, the 240 to 270 year cycle. That's called the grand mutation cycle. And then there's the great mutation cycle when it finally repeats the whole deal about every 800 or so years. But wait, there's even, as they say on late night TV, Larry, wait, there's more. We have the precession of the equinox. This is the stars, the background there. Think of the zodiac, all this stuff as a big clock. And not only are the hands moving, the planets, but the background, the face of the clock is moving backwards. That's called, you can look that up, the precessional equinox. I'm not going to get into technical stuff on that, but it's moving through a sign 30 degrees, 1 degree every 72 years. It takes 2,160 years to move one sign. Now, when Jupiter and Saturn line up with that sign, when it's changing signs, that's a really big deal. That's called a new age. You might, okay?
Yep, Norm. We have to pay some bills, but what I'd like for you to do when you come back is tell the folks how they can reach you and some of the wonderful things you have and the free gifts that you have for the people for the holiday season of Hanukkah.
Okay.
We'll be right back with Norm Winski, Friends Among Men, folks. We'll be right back.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
Bam! If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Norm Winski from Astro Trends on the line, who's going to give us 2 minutes of the best infomercial you'll ever find on television. Right here, right now. Go after it, Norm.
First, I got to get to at least the punchline on what I've been telling you. So the previous cycle, when Jupiter and Saturn were lining, started going into Earth every 19 and 20 years, 19 and a half, 20 years. That began in 1840 when a fellow by the name of William Henry Harrison, who ran the Indians out of Indiana, you know, at the Battle of Tippecanoe. Did you ever go to the battleground there?
Yes, sir. Outside of Lafayette. You bet. You're right outside of Indianapolis. You bet.
No, outside of Lafayette. Just outside of Lafayette there. When you went to Purdue, maybe you went to the battleground. I don't know. Anyway, he decided he became a national hero, ran for president with the slogan "Tippecanoe and Tyler too." He became Old Tippecanoe, and he won. And he decided what would be a small idea Back then, we used to inaugurate our presidents in March. He decided to walk to his inauguration on a cold and rainy day in Washington, and he had like the longest speech of any president's inauguration speech. He caught pneumonia, and he was dead in 40 days. And every president after that, that was in office with Jupiter and Saturn conjunct, died in office, okay? So there you go. So this stuff works. It flipped out of Earth in 1980 into air temporarily and probably saved Ronald Reagan's life. There you go. As soon as I heard he got shot, I turned to my friends and said, he will survive. He's not going to die. It broke the pattern. Here's another pattern. Jupiter and Saturn conjuncted in Pisces about 2,000 years ago as the precession equinox was going from Aries to Pisces. And some astrologers three astrologers looked at the sky and said, wow, look at that. I think that's really important. Let's go find the person, somebody born at this time, and we think he'll be a really important person. Let's see now. Pisces is the fish, and the opposite sign is Virgo. That's the goddess of the green. That's loaves. Fishes are loaves. That might sound those themes might sound a little familiar to you, Larry. I don't know. There you go.
It does.
So that's that. There we go. We got a new age coming. You might remember old dinosaurs like you and I, Larry. Probably remember the 60s when we had a hot Broadway show. Oh, I got to put get a hold of me, and I'll send you the essay for this. Put up my contact info there. There's my contact information right there. Okay.
Thanks, Norm. God bless you, my friend. Have a wonderful holiday. We'll have you on after in a couple weeks.
All right. Thanks a lot. Bye.